ROS, or Resistivity of Solvent Extract, is a pretty name, but what does it actually do, and how can we use it to control our cleaning processes? ROS is a technique that we can use to measure how clean our circuit boards are. We've known for a while that ionic contamination can cause problems on circuit boards, especially in high reliability applications. And so we had to come up with a non-destructive method for seeing how much of this ionic contamination is on the surface of our boards. In the ROS technique, all we do is we take a circuit board and we submerge it in a solvent, we agitate it for a little while, and then we measure the conductivity of that solvent. More specifically, we measure the change in conductivity over time. Since many of the ionic contaminants that we're worried about are soluble in the solvents, a lot of times it's a mixture of IPA and water, we can use that change in conductivity to estimate how much of that ionic contamination was present on the circuit board. Now, there are a few different modes you can run in. It can either be static or dynamic, but those differences are essentially inconsequential for this video. Now, ROS is very fast. It only takes a few minutes, which means that you can have one of these at the end of your line to make sure that your cleaning processes stay in control. So it's a very simple technique, and it's very easy. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, yes and no. It's very simple to do, and it's very easy to interpret. You get one number that has to fall within a specified window. But there are a couple arguments against using the ROS technique. First of all, since the entire board is being submerged, what you're actually getting is an average number across the surface, which could be misleading and give you a false sense of cleanliness. For example, imagine I have a small component on a big board that traps a lot of residues. Even though I have a small area with a high concentration that's of concern, ROS can't tell me that because all it can see is the big picture. Second, remember that what we're measuring is conductivity, which means we can't identify which specific ions are present like we can in ion chromatography. For that reason, this is a semi-quantitative measurement, and the value that we get is known as sodium chloride equivalence. Remember, different contaminants will change the conductivity differently. So what we've done is try to standardize that. What that value actually means is the amount of sodium chloride that would have had to have been on the board to see a similar change. This does not mean that we actually have that much sodium chloride on the board. This could work well for well-controlled processes that aren't exposed to many unknown contaminants, but let's be honest, who has a process like that? Lastly, this method is a little finicky. You gotta remember that anything that touches that solvent could change the conductivity and potentially give a false high reading. For example, your hands. No, seriously, stop putting your hands in the solvent. Now, at the end of the day, ROS can be a useful tool to help us with our process control. But consider that up until now, we really haven't had much choice. Its limitations have inspired the development of a new generation of tools that don't suffer from the same drawbacks. But that's a topic for another episode. Alright, if you liked that video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. You can also click that bell icon for notifications of future videos. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below or send an email to AskDrAdam@KYZEN.com. Thanks again, and stay clean.